Greetings. Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. This is Daphne Garrido. I want to talk about schizophrenia and the modern conception of it, and speak on my understanding from the inside out, and make a plea to anyone who is following to break down boundaries and help a girl who's trying to survive with unique circumstances going on in their mind. If you've been following me, I want to offer heapings of forgiveness and absolutely no apology for inciting language I've used. But we have a problem in the world, period. That's not my opinion, that's the truth. And I need you to take a breath with me and look at it dead in the eye. What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word? Schizophrenia. Schizophrenics. Schizophrenic. It's like kind of a, oh no, oh God, no, oh no. Why? It's kind of an I don't know, and I don't know. It's just scary. It's just not what I want to think about. It makes my head feel funny. It makes me feel like I'm gonna go crazy. It makes me feel like I'm gonna be a schizophrenic if I listen to one. I was repeating what my subconscious was saying, and I'm just gonna be honest, because I was creating a barrier here, right? Where it's landing and then I'm presenting. But I'm still not really presenting as me, because I'm holding this space as my subconscious as well. It's confusing. But it said, that's dumb. If you were here before, you probably saw me crying, to laughing, to looking all over the place, acting erratic, having really strong episodes of like screaming and crying, begging for help. Some of the saddest videos ever uploaded. There was one that I had in the morning when I just like kicked the covers off my bed and recorded it, and it was the most pathetic thing ever. And I just like, my subconscious has me post those as driven. And it's driven through trauma. I would not do that anymore, right? But it's probably made people think, wow, this person is dangerously volatile, right? Like they might need to be committed, or they probably do, or they're gonna go away and they're gonna deserve it for being all erratic like this. I want you to think about this, please. I know your mind doesn't want to think about schizophrenia because it's scared of it, because it's afraid to become that. Think about that. I'm living it. The thing you know you should be afraid of because it hurts your brain to think about, I'm doing it. And I'm looking it in the eye. And instead of taking antipsychotics that make me feel really tired and hungry and full of anxiety and totally non-present with life and addicted to something that I do not like, and sleeping for like 10, 12 hours instead of what I normally do, which is, I don't know, be a more productive human being. I'm a creative. It's just like, it numbed me through creativity. It, most of all, the time spent with my daughter was completely without presence. I came off of my medication after nearly 2 entire months. And it was a correct decision. And the reason I did it was because I had a person in my life briefly who was giving me hugs and compassion and sharing intimate time with me. As I was having mental, emotional de-evolution during my schizophrenic awakening, my body intelligence's awakening, as it began to play into my mind, relationship became very hard. Okay, so let's unpack a couple things. There's some of you out there who are on a spectrum of schizophrenia. Do not be afraid. I'm not going to make you more schizophrenic. What makes people more schizophrenic is high trauma. I might have been making you more schizophrenic, but I'm not going to do it now, okay? I'm not going to shout anything. I really am not. I'm not going to do any bubble popping. I'm going to be really honest. I've done some weird shamanistic stuff in here because that's my vibe, and once I'm set up, that's where I'm going to be because it's fun for me and it makes everything work. Because that's a hot place to hold the Penrose of not knowing where the lines of what's real and what's not real about what I feel are. I can't make you more schizophrenic unless you're getting traumatized. We've got a lot of schizophrenic people that are projecting their complete unwillingness to accept that they have these symptoms and see somebody who's having them to the highest of order. And like, that's what we fight for. We fight for denying what you're doing right now, which is having a complete breakdown of your mental systems that are so traumatized by the society that runs us all down mentally, drags us into our mind, forces us to operate from our mind rather than our heart. And my brain has shut down from lifetime of trauma and a genuine opening from doing stuff like this, squeezing and holding my spine totally straight and letting the kind of like squeezing of my muscles move my held breath into my lungs and holding it, and then doing more grinding. And particularly some meditation I did where I closed my eyes and I imagined myself holding 2 other women's hands. And I imagined pulling a light down from all the way up into my head, into my heart, into my head, into my heart, and I tried to blast it out. So, trauma sets the groundwork for schizophrenia. It creates executive dysfunction in all of us. It creates sensitivities of anxiety towards all the things I talk about. That makes somebody who has broken a social poison out of projection of spite for the cognitive dissonance held about the disdain of constantly living in a world that does not allow us to wake up in the morning and eat breakfast and walk outside in the trees and to go to the bathroom and to decide, what do I want to do with my day today? because that's the natural way of living. And we're all traumatizing ourselves to not be living that way. We gotta go to work. We need to start with schizophrenics, is what I'm saying. And I say we need to because it makes sense in my head. It's rational. There needs to be a change in this world towards us living that way. And we can't do anything with people that are schizophrenic, like me, other than mainline them into destitute of living in a home, dying on the street, losing all right to medication, having complete financial collapse, being isolated by all of community that treats them as social poison, out of fear and projection. Or they are a very privileged sort who has done it in the way I have, and they have pursued, instead of the psychological remedies that are provided by Western psychology that so many people rely on as the only solution to mental health, and especially the stuff they're afraid of. So they're like, oh, this person is schizophrenic. That's one of those ones I don't talk to, because that's scary. So, let's breathe it down. This gets me frustrated because I've been living this from the inside out, and it's maddening. People are afraid of what I have at the level that I have. I was too, because it's horrifying, and it is constantly challenging and stressful and worrying. And to get to the point where you can live with yourself manifesting inner voices that play back from the messages you send people and what your emotions felt back tell you they might be thinking, and you're making those up entirely, and then also getting splashes of emotion that are just bare and true. And then you go back and your subconscious does those inner simulations again, and they're more accurate. And you're like, oh shit, dude, I got some weird subconscious unlocked to connecting with esoteric energies that connect people, that's trying to tell me things. Or that is all still just projection, and it is coming from DNA body intelligence that is so deep. You know, we have strands of DNA that we could never decode fully, right? Perhaps within those strands of DNA are the keys to the universe, right? We've got a universe inside of us. And when you crack your ass open at the head, things come up. And we know about heart math, but we don't know what it means. We know it's kind of a pseudoscience that has some practical results. It makes sense to my body's intelligence wholly, and I know it's not supported, but I need somebody to trust me on this. Your heart is a reflection point of your body's intelligence. So when you feel into your heart, if it hurts, your body's not happy. And people turn away from the hurt of their heart, and they block it off, and they get really crunched down, and they don't open that shit up, and they don't live with what's going on in here. And when you start to, it's an unwinding path, and you can slip and slide right down that bitch, or you can take it slowly, right? But that's what happens, is like people have near-death experiences, right? Blow. They're down at the bottom. Body intelligence has awoken. They've seen that they're immortal and felt it in a way that, even though they can't explain it to a person who hasn't seen past or in or whatever, will accept. So they know what they know in their body. And that changes everything. And I did a bunch of plant medicines, and I had enough experiences seeking, knowing of more than this life, that through my experiential detective work that I trust fully from here, because it's also balanced with my mind, creative rationality, I know that when I die, it will not be sad. It will be sad on this plane to who I am still when I die. Maybe. I might be past that by the time I go. But you hear of bodhisattvas? This is the same thing. We talk about wizards, we talk about witches, we talk about every god in mythology. We talk about every single frickin' example of an oracle or a jinn. If you look at history and you accept that it has been warped into mythology and you don't believe what's there because you can't, because you know we can't really, except for like there are certain things we can know, I suppose. There was a Rome, right? But we don't know. And I believe we've lost literacy of the way history was written, which was as mythology. And that it has been warped in a way by a force of controlling interest, types of people with certain types of ideals that are not based on the human spirit, that repropagated mythology that has warped our world away from the truth. And I point to the Library of Alexandria burning for an example of what that was. It's Christians in Roman Egypt burning the greatest repository of wisdom we've ever had. And nowadays, even and especially someone like me, who can say it so clearly, can't seem to find a helping hand, not a single helping hand who understands what the situation is. Somebody figuring things out spiritually that are needed. And it is divinely unique in its pattern working, because my life has pushed me into it. And I never made any dishonorable mistakes. A dishonorable mistake is one you will not face when it faces you through your heart. And that is how I have walked the path clean. Almost. I'm not clean. There's so many wounds in my heart from people that won't heal with me. I'm not clean because I don't have a place to live yet. I have faith in my intelligence. And I know what will happen if no one supports me to live here and make art and find a way to help schizophrenics like me take another better path that is not the Kundalini yogi, mystic, spiritual, bypassing spiritual psychosis path, that's not the clinical lobotomization path. I'm telling you, if you think a schizophrenic person needs shock treatment, I hate you. I hate you. That's the cruelest idea in the history of the fucking world, other than actual lobotomization. It's disgusting. It's totally experimental, as are all pharmaceuticals, essentially, we have to trust our experiences with them. We have to trust each other. There is nowhere that it is written that a schizophrenic person needs to be on medicine. It is a suggestion from psychology, which is a science that we do not have to worship as an altar. We can trust our hearts. That's what I don't get. There's so many people that do not trust their own psychologists rightly. They take it with a grain of salt. Maybe there's not. Maybe everybody buys the bullshit. Maybe psychologists are all doing what they did to Tony Soprano. And they're working with someone who is a sociopath. And they're just hyping him up. Because you can't do anything else to a sociopath. And in a world full of sociopaths, somebody becomes a real, genuine, heartful human being. And you know what they need? They need a psycho who knows everybody, who's a sociopath, is a fucking lying coward. Everybody's afraid of psychopaths too. Why? Because you fucked them so hard through their whole life that they don't feel things right? Who didn't watch Killing Eve? Let's talk about this. Killing Eve dove into the psychopathy of unfeelingness in a way that was very brave. It was exploring why we loved that character. Because they are a traumatized human being that has provided no path to healing, that has locked down and fights against everything that is trying to help them and love them and is right and is doing wrong but hates it and wants to change, but is caught and confused and sad, and everybody lashes out at because they keep transgressing on people. And it's a trap. It is a trap. Just as is the trap of schizophrenic people hitting the street and being seen as, I do not want to see that person, they're going to be so wild. I would have never screamed once on my bed. Think about this. You have a disease in your mind. I know it's hard, but this is going to prove to you that you're not me. You hear uncontrollable voices that sometimes you can contain, but when you get too anxiety fueled, you start hearing too many things coming up. Like after I film this, I'll probably have to lay down because I'll be imagining things coming from whoever has watched this. And I write, so I have been battling this with the heaviest oncoming of my own subconscious projection. And so I am a mental warrior for existing in that space. I write and I'm laughing, like with myself, with people that I'm imagining reading it, laughing. It's like there's a chorus of people with me. And it's like my subconscious hops over to this actor. And for some reason I'm like, okay, I guess I'm writing this part for their sensibilities. Or it hops over to this person I know and I'm like, it's them now, right? And I feel them inside and I'm laughing with them and I am alone through this all. And as soon as I get out of the delusion, I wake up from a nap, I look around, I can't do math really without really hurting my brain. Like it hurts. It's like the places in you that feel stressed out by the things that hurt my brain haven't short-circuited, okay? And that is the ultimate consequence of my schizophrenia now, except for the fact that I'm a little kooky, dude, and that people are really afraid of getting to know me as I am, and that the way my mind works is not exciting to people, it's frightening. And I need somebody to help me. That's what I don't get. It frustrates me the most, is there are schizophrenic women who get cared for. And I just want you to imagine something. Every video I ever made here, after I get help, imagine I was living with somebody. I just had like a room in a house, and I got to like talk to people sometimes, got to see my daughter more regularly. I got to play games with other people and have fun. How volatile do you think I would be? Do you think I would ever attack a human being? My head's shaking yes. People think I would attack another person. The way I screamed at the camera, right? So scary. I love everyone. I hate myself. And I have no reason to. And it's because I don't have any friends. And because I am unsafe. And there is no correct place for me to exist. So perhaps there's a group of people that can get over the fact that I'm having to legally threaten them, and that they still don't want to. And they still don't believe me. And just have some like human decency. Every time a police officer or a crisis team person comes here and I open the door, they walk away shaking their head. Because I'm the nicest person they've ever met. When I go to the gas station that plays Fox News that has dudes behind the counter that hate trans women, I'm just me, and I don't care. And the look on their face tells it plainly. That's a really nice trans girl. The only people that are scared of me are all the people that used to be my family and friends. The people I needed to turn to for support in this. There is absolutely no room for healing with me, with my mother or my father or my sister, or any of my extended family for that matter, with the amount of times that they have rejected wholly over and over and over with no response to the plainest, simplest, most basic pleas for help, even for just like help a schizophrenic woman get help, period. There's programs for that. You need to get back to work and stuff. This is why I scream at the camera. I've been getting worse. And I'm fighting harder. And y'all have made me into a wizard. And so there's a confidence found in me. And so I'm not getting as sad anymore. I'm hoping there's a way off of this Penrose step named someone I have written so much mythology about from my fucking bones that I know is the only one who's smart enough and has been fucked up enough by this whole system and is not a psychopath. That was just a way of communicating. Biggest, hardest person I ever met. It's just hard. There is compartmentalization that goes on in people that have been traumatized. And they're just the only person I know that I can believe would understand that I am a hyper-intelligent person who genuinely not dangerous. Can you understand I'm not dangerous? This is like the only person who's not scared of me. They're just bored of me. It's just like, just deal with it. Just deal with it, dude. It's a fun vibe. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. You've got a busy talking friend, and guess what? A hug would make them melt into a little fucking kid who's just like, I'm so happy, I feel better finally. You know what help would make me do? Turn into a fucking smoothest river. There's one person who holds the keys that could break all of my trauma locks, because theirs is the only hug that I really want. And so I have all of these people who have done these terrible things to me in my unbecoming, and I blamed everyone backwards. I blamed myself first, the person I want help most from second, the person who I probably love romantically the most, but was like the least themselves and really messed me up, and I respect them still, but they're not it right now. Like, they're not it. And then like all the way up the line, right? And it's family and family. And so I'm sorry for blaming this on the person who I should have had help from. Logically, if our entire world wasn't coded mythologically to have us turn away from biological realities of companionship when it comes specifically to trans women. I've proven that in my mythology. I'm like, why won't anybody be my friend when I go back to before I was schizophrenic? Oh yeah. You're just too authentic as a trans woman after being who I was as a yogi that became awoken to my heart and followed that path into it. It's just like there's no understanding for it in society. Oh, so please, if you're not that person, I believe in you too. I believe in everybody. Is somebody there understanding now who has a little bit of coin, who understands I'm not buying PlayStation games anymore? I was having breakdowns because I couldn't find a good way out of my executive dysfunction. And it's not that put me in the hole where I can't pay rent. I need too much. I need like $600 before this weekend, or I'm gonna have to sell my car, and then I'm in deep shit. I tried to offer Wizard to people for like $6,000, right? For like film adaptation rights. But there's probably, the people I sent it to are probably like, you shouldn't be writing this story, you're a trans woman. It's just like, that. It's just cultural, the word I use, right? I'm a DNA intelligent, schizophrenic writer genius, burgeoning Shakespeare. Pythia is hell. But y'all see me as Lilith, deep in your bones. That's what the Republican folks in my family see me. They see me as the devil, especially when I'm doing grind and right and telling them that they're wrong about stuff, telling them exactly what they actually did, telling everybody exactly what's actually going on. What a demon, dude. We lie around here. Lies are truth. Truth is lie. Stop hating me for speaking in platitudes. There's probably people in their logic mind that are like, you're just so bold about everything being wrong. You're the contrarian of contrarians. I have had to figure out why no one would help me. Why no one is helping me in any appropriate manner. And I am correct about what my mind needs. I've needed help this whole time. I have needed rest. Right after I got abused schizophrenic, I knew it. I needed rest. Psychologists and stuff are like, yeah, there's not really a place you can go without money. Like, you better keep working. We're gonna give you these pills. Go back at it. So I committed to an art therapy process, and it's been up and down, but it's proven to bring me back towards center. It's just involved levels of deepening into my body's intelligence, into my heart's opening, to bringing that intelligence into my mind. That's exactly what's happening. I wrote in Mary and Jesus, my personal mythology about my schizophrenic unbecoming and my hope of a person coming back to help me find a way to survive with my gifts and perhaps share some of them through me, because people don't really want to listen to a schizophrenic person unless they're really brave. I forget the point, and that's okay. I'm bad at organization. I'm so tired of asking this. I'm so tired of waiting for somebody to want to be a genius's friend, because it's fun to have somebody who communicates with you in exactly the way that you want, is writing to share stuff for your heart, has no expectations except for she wants you to be somebody who shows up in person sometime. Someone who doesn't not communicate. I tell stories about communicating too much with people. I communicate with people too much because nobody talks to me. Everybody's a slow texter unless they really care about people and they're in a good place and they're right there when they get the message. It's the rarest person who will text you back without trying to be cool. That's not the treatment I'm getting anymore. I'm getting forever silence. I would like someone to help me find peace, please. No one has ever deserved it more in our time. That's true. I have had the hardest struggle that no one truly cares about. Why? I'm too depressed. that started somewhere.